2015, 11.6 billion tons of goods were shipped via truck, 1.8 billion tons were shipped via train, 740 million tons were shipped via cargo ship, and only 5 million tons were shipped via airplane. But using autonomous flying cargo drones to ship goods might bump that number up.
Air freight is actually a mode of transportation that has increased dramatically. It's still a small percentage of all freight being moved, but if you look at the percentage change over the years, air freight has been growing much more rapidly. I think a big reason for that is the growth of e-commerce.
If you're living in a small village and you want to ship goods and be a part of a global economy, often your freight link is by road or rail, and it takes quite some time for your goods to be transmitted around the world. So when we bring autonomy and scale into aviation, every community can be connected with the rest of the world through an airborne freight link. And I think that means massive potential for economic growth in communities all over the world.
The main challenge is volume. You just can't lift as much weight into the air as you can float it along the sea, especially if you're trying to use battery-powered vehicles, like many of the smaller drones we see today. Current battery technology is incredibly heavy. Valancy, a drone company that has been working in the space since 2015, created a hybrid vehicle that uses electric power to take off vertically, then standard fuel to fly off horizontally.
So if you build an all-electric vehicle, you have an 85% mass fraction on the battery, so that means you can carry 15% the rest of the weight in payload, which doesn't really make sense for cargo delivery.
See, the more volume you carry, the cheaper shipping becomes, even if that means traveling longer distances.
Going in from Shanghai, as an example, to the United States might take about 28 days by ship, whereas by airplane it will only take 14 hours.
But still, ships are cheaper. A medium-sized 2,000-pound box from Shenzhen, China to New York can cost $1,200 by ocean, but it can cost $4,000 by air. Nautilus is working on getting that volume up and the cost down by using jet fuel-powered drones to autonomously fly goods long distances, like across the ocean.
Nautilus is building large-scale unmanned aircraft the size of Boeing 747s to reduce global air freight costs by 50%.
It will do this by using a uniquely shaped vehicle designed for cargo, not passengers, unlike other air freight carriers.
When Boeing and Airbus design airplanes meant for passengers, whatever falls out is what the freight aircraft looks like, and they're not really optimized on volume.
It also wants to utilize pilots more effectively. Instead of having 2 pilots on one single flight, it hopes to use one pilot managing multiple flights remotely.
There's a huge bottleneck with pilots today, which is limiting the expansion of air freight as well as passenger freight.
But Nautilus is still not ready to get its cargo drones into the air for deliveries. Companies like Valancy have already started making deliveries in places like the Bahamas, a particularly difficult area for deliveries because of the large distances between islands. The company's goal is to alleviate the shipping strains of high-need, expensive shipping, like when a specific part needs replacing on a production line, and it needs to be replaced quickly, since time is money.
I started Valancy out of a problem that I saw while working at Tesla. So imagine the Model 3 assembly line goes down for 1 hour. That costs the business hundreds of thousands of dollars, in some cases millions of dollars. And at that point, the companies and businesses are motivated to get that uptime and get the line going again at any cost. And Valancy is trying to help with that business and with that problem.
Other companies are trying to lighten the load of the ever-critical last-mile delivery. That's the portion of the shipping process that gets the product from its last warehouse or shipping hub to your door, and trying to hasten the delivery of medical supplies and samples for testing. Zipline has been delivering supplies in Rwanda since 2016, Ghana since April of 2019, and is expanding its service to the US this year. UPS has teamed up with drone startup Matternet to quickly ship medical supplies from a North Carolina hospital to labs for testing.
I think we can use this type of system to massively improve healthcare in the country. So imagine when you have to get that lab result back, how crucial it is to get it on time. And with a system like this, we can deliver the samples and then the results much faster than we can do it with the traditional transportation methods today.
But news of these delivery drones has been flying around for years. Prime Air, Amazon's drone delivery system, was teased back in 2013, and it still hasn't rolled out the program, though Amazon recently announced that it will launch delivery drones within months.
We're building fully electric drones that can fly